Have you ever watched your savings dwindle while Japanese households steadily grow theirs? The secret isn't boosting income, it's slashing waste. Legendary investor Warren Buffett observed that his Japanese associates lived frugally despite their hefty fortunes. He noted that Americans often forget true wealth comes from cutting out needless expenses, not flaunting riches. In Japan, this principle is called moai, honoring resources and wringing every ounce of value from what you already own. While we're wired to keep buying, they sidestep 10 costly money traps that sap American wallets. Let's dive into the first two. Secret 1. Bank fees and credit card interest. Open your bank statement and you'll see it, those minute fees that quietly erode your balance. Americans hand over billions of dollars each year in banking charges, but in Japan, cash still dominates. No cards equal no hidden fees, no surprise charges, and no runaway debt. This habit isn't random. It reflects a long-standing belief that debt marks personal failure, a view that helps keep Japanese households financially secure. The figures are eye-opening. About $300 a year in bank fees and $700 or more on card interest. $1,000 disappearing from your wallet annually. That's enough for a weekend retreat or a solid boost to your retirement fund. To seal this leak, switch to a fee-free online bank and set up automatic payments for all your cards. Then, for 1 week, pay cash for every purchase under $20. You might spend 12 to 18% less when you actually hand over bills, an instant connection that plastic can't deliver. Secret 2. Seasonal decorations and over-the-top gifts. Inflatable yard Santas and elaborate light displays are eye-catching, but Americans pour $18 billion into holiday decorations every year, only to toss most of it into storage or worse, the trash. In a Japanese home during the holidays, you'll see treasured ornaments passed down for generations, each one lovingly maintained. In the scarcity of the post-war era, families learned that every decoration held value, so they became heirlooms instead of clutter. That same care extends to gift-giving. Rather than maxing out credit cards on the latest gadget, they favor modest, thoughtful presents. The Japanese tradition of omiyage, handing out small, carefully selected treats, shows genuine consideration, far more than any high-end toy ever could. Americans spend over $1,000 on Christmas gifts alone, often piling it onto cards that linger with interest well into spring. Since studies show most new purchases lose their thrill in a matter of weeks, what's left is just debt. Escape this trap by choosing decorations and presents you'll use year after year, items that add real value instead of collecting dust. For presents, focus on experiences. Grab live music tickets, sign up for a cooking workshop, or cook a homemade meal. You'll forge memories no gadget can match, all while keeping your bank balance and stress levels in check. Item 3. Bottled water. Imagine paying 2,000 times more for something that pours freely from your tap. Yet Americans pour tens of billions of dollars into bottled water every year. In Japan, you'll see everyone from CEOs to school kids sipping from reusable bottles, trimming costs with every gulp. Their avoidance of single-use plastic isn't just about saving money. It stems from a deep respect for nature. The principle of moai, rooted in Shinto and Buddhist values, views wasting resources, especially clean water, as almost dishonorable. A single bottled water habit can cost over $500 a year per person. A family of 4 might easily waste $2,000 annually on water that costs mere pennies from the faucet, while generating mountains of plastic trash. Flip the script. Spend $30 on a top-quality reusable bottle, like a hydro flask that keeps water icy all day. Worried about the taste of tap water? Attach a simple faucet filter for $30. You'll break even in a matter of weeks and keep hundreds of plastic bottles out of the landfill. Item 4. Excessive cleaning products. Your cleaning closet probably looks like a mini chemistry lab. Sprays, wipes, gels, you name it. Americans have been led to believe they need a special formula for every surface, fueling a $40 billion industry built on marketing magic. In Japan, the story is different: simplicity. Centuries ago, Edo, today's Tokyo, was renowned as one of the world's cleanest cities, relying on natural cleaning methods that still prevail. Why juggle 10 products when 3 ingredients do the trick? Most Japanese homes depend on baking soda, white vinegar, and gentle soap. This minimalistic approach isn't just budget-friendly, it's more effective and healthier. Many commercial cleaners are packed with harsh chemicals that underperform and linger in your living space. Plus, they add to the endless cycle of plastic waste. Revamp your routine. Mix equal parts white vinegar and water in a spray bottle. Then add a few drops of lemon essential oil. This solution costs mere pennies per use and tackles almost every surface. For stubborn grime, whip up a paste of baking soda and water. It outperforms most store-bought cleaners at a fraction of the cost. Item 5. Restaurant meals and fast food. Lunch in Tokyo couldn't be more different from New York or Los Angeles. Japanese professionals don't flock to lunch spots. They unfold vibrant bento boxes in parks or office break rooms. Inside, you'll find perfectly portioned rice, protein, vegetables, and a little treat. Each box assembled that very morning in just minutes. Bento boxes date back to the Edo period, when samurai carried compact rations on long journeys. Today, they blend convenience with culture and a dash of self-care. Meanwhile, Americans shell out $3,500 per person every year on dining out. With typical markups of 300% over the actual ingredient cost, that $15 lunch really contains about $5 worth of food. You're paying an extra $10 for the sake of convenience, an expensive habit that can be easily broken. Break the dining out habit without losing the joy of great food. Begin by swapping just 3 restaurant meals each week for home-cooked options. Invest in attractive, compartmentalized containers that transform lunch into something you actually look forward to packing. Tools like MIM can streamline your meal prep sessions, saving both time and money, and turning what feels like a sacrifice into a satisfying ritual. Ever tried bringing your own lunch instead of eating out? Share what worked for you and your favorite homemade go-to meal. 6th tip: slash unused subscriptions and services. Americans are drowning in recurring charges they barely touch. That free trial you never canceled, it's still draining your wallet month after month. Those streaming platforms you signed up for just to watch one series, they multiply on your statements like rabbits. In Japan, households learned during the 1990s financial crisis to scrutinize every fixed expense, only keeping what truly added value. That habit of vetting subscriptions continues to this day. The numbers are eye-opening. The average American juggles 12 different subscriptions, shelling out over $1,500 per year. Studies reveal that 2/3 of people completely forget at least one service they're paying for, like patches in your financial bucket constantly leaking cash. Try a 30-minute subscription audit. Pull your last 3 months of statements, highlight every recurring charge, and ask yourself for each one, when was the last time I used this? Does it really enhance my life? Be ruthless. Cancel anything you can't instantly justify. Apps like Truebill can unearth hidden fees and even negotiate lower rates on the services you decide to keep. 7th tip: rein in excessive clothing purchases. Take a look in your closet. You'll probably find tags still attached to unworn garments, impulse buys shoved to the back, pieces you never quite got around to wearing. On average, Americans bring home around 68 new clothing items each year, more than 1 piece per week, yet wear only about 20 of them. In Japan, minimalism isn't just a fad. It stems from Zen philosophy and post-war necessity. Owning fewer, higher-quality pieces isn't deprivation. It's mindful consumption that saves money and the planet. Step into a typical Japanese apartment and you'll see carefully curated wardrobes filled with less but better. Japanese shoppers pick up roughly 30 new items annually, focusing on timeless designs, quality fabrics, and versatile cuts. The result? More outfit possibilities with fewer clothes, less decision fatigue, and thousands of dollars saved every year. Break free from fast fashion frenzy by challenging yourself to a 30-day shopping pause. Rediscover what's already in your closet by mixing and matching. When you do buy again, follow the 30-wear rule. Only purchase pieces you know you'll wear at least 30 times. A $60 quality garment worn 30 times costs $2 per wear, whereas a $20 fast fashion item worn twice runs you $10 for every outing. Eighth tip, ditch oversized vehicles to cut fuel costs. Picture a sea of giant SUVs inching through traffic, each sipping gas with every mile, often carrying just one person and no real cargo. In America, almost 80% of new vehicles sold are sport utility vehicles or pickup trucks that rarely fulfill their intended purpose. In Japan, tight city streets and a culture of efficiency drove automakers to lead the way after the 1970s oil crisis, pioneering compact, fuel-efficient cars while Americans clung to gas guzzlers. By choosing a properly sized vehicle, you'll lower your gasoline bills and keep more money in your pocket. This starkly different approach to the same worldwide issue highlights vastly different priorities in transportation and consumption. The financial bleed can be brutal. More than $200 extra each month on inflated car payments, $40 to $50 more in insurance premiums, fuel bills that can run twice as high, increased upkeep, and faster depreciation. Going too big in your choice of vehicle can cost you about $6,000 more a year in financing. That's roughly $500 every month you could channel into building your retirement fund, paying for your kids' education, or creating unforgettable experiences instead of burning it at the pump. Right-size your ride. When it's time for a new set of wheels, consider dropping just one vehicle class. Shifting from a full-size SUV to a compact SUV or trading a mid-size sedan for a compact can cut costs by about 15 to 20% without sacrificing much in comfort or practicality. That alone could cover an extra getaway every year. What matters more, oversized cup holders or genuine life adventures? Item 9. Unplanned spending. You step into a store for toothpaste and walk out with a handful of bags and a $150 dent in your bank balance. Sound familiar? Impulse purchases are no accident. They're fine-tuned by retailers who understand your brain's triggers all too well. Americans end up making spur-of-the-moment buys on nearly half of all shopping trips, dumping over $5,400 annually on items they never intended to own. Contrast that with the Japanese principle of kaizen applied to buying. Born in a time when every yen counted and waste wasn't just unwise, it risked basic necessities. Shoppers learned to pause and think before committing, prioritizing deliberation over impulse. Retail environments are weaponized to bypass your logical side. From store layouts that tuck staples in the back to the lighting, music, and even subtle scents, all engineered to trigger emotional spending. Flash sales and countdown clocks force a false sense of urgency, short-circuiting your reasoning and pushing you to swipe your card. Break the cycle. Institute a 30-day waiting period on non-essential purchases over $50. Snap a photo of anything that tempts you and place it on a second look list with the date noted. 30 days later, if it still feels essential, then consider buying it. Most must-haves fade in appeal once you're out of that perfectly choreographed retail scene. Item 10. Hidden hotel and travel fees. You spot a great room rate online, $129 per night. But at booking, the fine print kicks in. $25 for Wi-Fi, $40 for parking, $35 for the resort amenity fee you never use, plus $8 water bottles you assumed were complimentary. Suddenly, your bargain stay balloons past $200 per night, a 55% markup courtesy of legalized bait and switch. Japanese hospitality, or omotenashi, is built on anticipating guest needs without surprise add-ons. Rooted in centuries-old tea ceremony traditions, it emphasizes genuine service and clear pricing instead of nickel-and-diming visitors. Hidden fees aren't just petty annoyances, they drain well over $1,000 a year from frequent travelers and make price comparison a nightmare, turning a simple booking into detective work. Outsmart the fee trap. Always call the property before reserving and ask directly, are there any mandatory fees not included in the room rate? Join hotel loyalty programs. They're free and often shield you from certain surcharges. Consider vacation rentals where the pricing is transparent. And don't hesitate to negotiate a check-in. Since I'm a repeat guest, could you waive the Wi-Fi charge? You might be surprised how often it works. Which of these money-saving habits caught you off guard? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's explore how you can use these Japanese strategies to supercharge your savings.